There's a video that has been circling the internet of a woman who claims she has read 100 books a week. How, you might ask? Well, I'll let her show you. Yep, she's reading these books using a service that claims you can read any book in 10 minutes. And she's not the only one who is cutting corners.
Luckily for you, this tool allows you to upload a photo of any book and receive a summary of it in just a few seconds.
Some of these services have been around for a while, some are brand new, and some I have yet to show you. But one thing is definitely clear, there's money to be made in the world of reading shortcuts. I'd love to say our 100 books a week woman is the inspiration for this video, but she's not. I'll show you a more shocking service later. Ren claims to read 100 books a week, and the service she uses to help her do this is something called SoBrief. SoBrief is a website that summarizes books using AI. You can get these summaries either as text on the website, an audio file that you can play, or a PDF that you can download. These summaries are broken down into key takeaways, so you're basically getting a really simplified version of the book, which on the surface may look helpful, but well, I'll get to why it's not in a bit. One of the things I find absolutely wild about this service is that I found on the front page of the website, the book, How to Read a Book. There's a summary for the book, How to Read a Book, so you don't have to read the book. The whole thing is about encouraging you to read. I felt like they had to have put that there on purpose. This is how she's claiming she's read 100 books a week. She is reading the summaries on the page and saying that's how she has read them. As you can guess, the comments in this video are not impressed. This isn't reading. I hope that helps. So you're not actually reading books, just looking at the summary. Congrats on making Fahrenheit 451 a reality. Not that you'd know, you'd have to actually read it first. Now let's be clear, I don't think she's actually doing this. Her whole account is just her talking about this service, and I have a good feeling that it's rage bait for the book community in the hopes that the video will go viral and the service would get some eyes on it. The type of eyes that would actually use a platform like this, and you know what? I think it has probably worked. She has a lot of views on this video and a good number on the rest of them too. This isn't the first time a service like this has appeared. Blinkist has existed since 2012 and does very similar book summaries and takeaway sections, as well as audio breakdowns. The difference here is that SoBrief includes fiction books, and as far as I know, Blinkist sticks to non-fiction. I mean, you can read Fahrenheit 451 if you want. Why not? Seriously, pick a book. They've got 26,000 of them. Oh, but if you really want to use this to get through your backlog of books, you've got to pay $44.99 a year to do it. But hey, that's a damn sight cheaper than actually buying and reading the books, so it makes sense, right? Here's why it doesn't. When you're reading a book, especially a fiction book, but we'll count non-fiction in this too, it's not just a sequence of events on paper that you can regurgitate if somebody were to ask you if you've read it. Books are written by authors to make you feel something, to go on a journey with the characters. The choice of words the author uses, the way they describe scenes or events, they all matter. A summary cannot give you this experience because it strips all that away to give you the bare facts. It would be like looking at the author's plot summary, basic and, let's be honest, boring. When you're reading a book, you're not experiencing it the same way other readers are. You're bringing your own life experiences, tastes, and emotions to the table. I could read the same book as you, but feel completely differently about it. I could relate to the main character and you might not. I could learn a valuable lesson within the story and you might not. You could read one very specific line and have a tear in your eye, and to me, that would have no impact at all. If you were to read a summary, you would never get any of those benefits. You would never feel changed or moved by a book. You would never know if you loved a book or not because all you would get are the facts. Even if you're reading non-fiction, you're missing so much when reading a summary of a book instead of reading the whole thing. You get the lessons or takeaways, sure, but you don't get the anecdotes that come with them. You don't learn about the author's experiences or their thoughts on the matter. You don't get the space while reading to really take in the point. You just get a few tips as if they're in a blog post. You don't get the opportunity to read and learn and form your own opinions. It's not the same. You will also struggle to take in or apply anything you've read. Without the surrounding argument, the words the author has crafted alongside the facts, you will not absorb them or feel the same emotional connection to have it stored in memory. You just won't. Authors write books for a reason. They're there to take you on a journey. They're crafted over months or years to help you feel, learn, or be entertained. A summary doesn't do this justice at all. But we're not stopping here, guys, because while So Brief exists, there's something else that was the catalyst that started this video, Magibook. Now, this one might be tricky due to the marketing choices they've made, so bear with me. Magibook essentially takes an existing book, pumps it into their AI model, and depending on the reading level you'd like, it would rewrite the book based on that level. Then you can read it. On their website is an example. You can see the original text and then how it has been adjusted for the different reading levels or difficulties. This is the original. Trailing his ash plant by his side, its ferrule followed lightly on the path, squealing at his heels. Then advanced, dragging his walking stick by his side, its metal tip scraped lightly on the path, squeaking at his heels. Intermediate, dragging his walking stick beside him, the metal tip of the stick made a light noise on the path, squeaking behind him. Beginner. He dragged his walking stick beside him, the metal tip made a noise on the path. And then elementary. He dragged his walking stick beside him. It made a noise on the ground. The book's Magibook has available seem to only be in the public domain, which is smart because the copyright and legal complications would be massive if they were to rewrite modern books. Now, this service is marketed as a tool to help with accessibility. It says it can help you read no matter your English level or needs. This includes fiction and non-fiction books. Where I think this might be useful and perhaps is warranted is with some non-fiction books, especially those written by academic professionals way in the past and that are in the public domain. I'm not sure how many of those they have or if people would actually want to read them, but that's the kind of information that can be difficult to read and translate into something a modern reader might understand. Not to the level they are proposing here, because I am absolutely sure AI would butcher the facts to no end, but perhaps one rung down. Maybe. The fiction, translation, and honestly a good chunk of the non-fiction is where I do have a problem though. When an author writes a book, they use language intentionally. They may choose specific words because they bring the most meaning to a scene, or they convey the right emotions. They might write dialogue in a specific way to show relationship building. They will likely describe the character's environment in a very specific way to allow you to imagine what that's like. Changing the book, essentially rewriting it using AI, not even a human, is creating something completely new. It's not the same book anymore. I've not downloaded the app, so we're going to use this article on Toolify to look at some examples. I'll leave a link to the article in this video's description because it is very interesting. Here's a passage from The Great Gatsby that they've shared in this article. This is the actual text. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Then Magibook's elementary rewrite changes this too. When I was young, my dad told me something that I still think about. I'll let those sit next to each other for a second so you can see the difference. This is taking the original text and changing it to fit the lowest reading level they have. The simplification here is quite obvious. As you can see, the meaning of the text has changed. The word vulnerable is important. It shows how open he would have been to the next part of the line, which is the word advice. Both of these are removed to simplify the text. The same depth of character or even the facts of the line are not there. Alongside the loss of facts and the author's intention when writing, simplification in this form has absolutely no tact or care for the original work. It's done by AI, which doesn't have a care for the historical significance of the book or the journey the author might want you to go on. It's not like reading translated fiction where the translator is conscious of the original text and the meaning behind every single word. This is AI. Its only goal is to simplify the text no matter what, which means the book you might be reading using a tool like this is a completely different book to the original. It's not making the original book accessible because you're not reading the original book. You're reading something else. The original meaning, intent, emotional journey that you're meant to go on through the author's choice of words they put on the page isn't there anymore. So you're not finally getting to experience Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare or War and Peace by Tolstoy. You're reading an AI version of it. That seems sad to me. I remember reading Shakespeare at school. I didn't understand a word of it. It took me years of studying his writing to be able to break down and translate in my mind what he was trying to say. Even now, I only really know a handful of works, and even then, I couldn't translate every line. But the satisfaction you feel when you finally do get it is so worth it. Not for external validation, but just for you. Shakespeare would be nothing without his choice of words. He made his own up for good reason, because he wanted you to feel specific emotion in those words. To boil that down to something simple, I'm sure, would give you the bare bones of the story, but none of the emotion attached to it. I'm not done yet, guys. This is an Instagram story an influencer posted about her faking reviews for advanced readers' copies of books. She said she did this to top up her percentage and then claimed that others do it too, like it was funny. Let me break down what on earth the technical language in this means before we talk about the implications of it. NetGalley, the site she's on here, is a place where you can sign up to get books to read before they're released to the wider public. These are called advanced readers' copies, or ARCs for short. On this website, you're meant to read the books you're approved to get, then review them. You then get a percentage-based score based on how many books you've been approved for versus how many you've actually reviewed. This score, the higher that it is, will help you when applying for more sought-after books. This influencer has said on her Instagram stories of all places that she's faking multiple reviews to increase her percentage. So basically, she's lying in order to get more free books, which is wild. And she's implying others do it too, which suggests to me she knows others do it, and she has done it before herself. Not only is this bad for the platform, but it's terrible for authors. Nobody wants fake reviews of their books. They want honest and genuine ones. This influencer has not said she's using any of these services I've mentioned in this video. All she has said is that she is writing fake reviews. Which leads me to my last example. Yep, services that will write your book reviews for you, even without you having read the book at all. I have found 2 of these services to date, and I know people are using them because the rumors around the book social media world are flying. The ones I have found are Quillbot and Hyperwrite. These tools work by allowing you to input things like the book name, the tone you want to use in your review, and your very brief thoughts. It will then search the web to find information about the book, including the plot, characters, themes, author, and critical reception, to put together a review. Let me make one thing very clear. AI is not a human. It cannot have an opinion on a book. It cannot find things annoying in a book. It can't say it really likes a particular character because it's not human. You are. It may be able to find the general consensus on a book and come up with some kind of opinion, but it is not yours. It is scraping everyone else's reviews to write something for you, something that isn't even your own words. I don't see the point. If you don't have the time or energy to write reviews, then don't write them. I've stopped because they take up a lot of time. Please don't post AI written reviews. They are not useful to other readers because they're not your genuine opinion or words. And if you have some kind of audience on social media or you're on one of these review sites and that audience trusts you, do not use AI. Because if something in your review is incorrect, or you've said you love something in a book that if you'd actually read it, you'd hate, you're going to lose the trust of your audience. And people can tell when things are AI written anyway. You do not want the fallout of people not being able to trust you again because you've been writing AI written reviews. And if you're doing this because you've not even read the book, well, that's even worse, because you're taking advantage of publishers, your audience, and the author in order to gain something from them all. I think it goes without saying that although I've shared a lot of AI tools in this video, I hope I've convinced you not to use them. Because while AI, especially generative AI, says it can save you time or make things easier, all it does is suck the humanity out of things we should be enjoying and experiencing and doing ourselves. But you tell me, what do you think of the topics I've discussed in this video? Leave me a comment and let's chat there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time for another one.